The first season of DuckTales has come to a close, leaving us with a distinct problem. How does one be a DuckTales fan when there's no DuckTales on the air?
That sounds like a challenge.
Indeed it is, but we're up to it. That's right, the first season of DuckTales is over, but that doesn't mean we have to stop looking for duck things or being fans of the show or Disney Duck paraphernalia. But it doesn't mean the show is on a break, and to some degree that means we have to be on a break too. Well, at least it means I'm going on a bit of a break. For a while, until I get some more steam, there's not going to be too many more reviews coming from me coming up. I will probably have a full, more detailed edited review of the finale coming up soon, but without full episodes to really dive into, the content of this channel is going to change for a little bit. For the most part, it means I'll probably be going backwards and doing some sort of, top 10 lists and some other content like I talked about in the live stream a week or two ago. But it also means I'll be branching out into other stuff. But before we get to that, and I take a quick break, I want to talk about what you can do to still be interested in DuckTales stuff while the show is on the in-between season hiatus. And the first thing you already saw, there are some pretty cool toys out there to buy. This is a Dewey Duck from Target, and if you squeeze him, he says all sorts of cool stuff.
How does he do it? I don't know.
Actually, I do know. He's got a voice box inside, and he's not the only one. There's a Louie one, and a Huey one, and there's also a Scrooge and a Webby, but I don't have those yet because they're actually kind of hard to find. And the first Louie that we got, oh gosh, I can't hold them all, actually was broken, so we had to return him. And it was actually Susie that picked these up. You can order them from the Target store or online, and we'll get to that. But I mostly just wanted to talk about what got me largely into DuckTales. Well, not in the first place. What got me into DuckTales in the first place was the 1987 cartoon. But what got me back into it as an adult was the history of DuckTales. If you watch my channel, you know I talk a lot about the old comics. And I've shown some clips of them before while showing video reviews, but I wanted to show them really quick right here. This is Only a Poor Old Man, and it's the first volume by Carl Barks of Uncle Scrooge comics. And these archives are available and you can buy them, and they have all these old comics in it. So if you want to know where I'm getting all my classic duck knowledge, it's from volumes like these, with all these old comics and classic tales going back decades, with really cool Scrooge McDuck adventures and lore, and they're honestly a lot of fun and really funny and well written. And the Carl Barks one, although a lot of people, refer to him as the king of Scrooge, because he's what brought the character into his modern existence, created Disney Duck lore as it is important, but it's not the only thing you have available to you. Following from him, you can also get, of course, the Don Rosa collection. And Don Rosa is actually what I read personally before Carl Barks. I said Carl's Barks again, didn't I? I do that sometimes because I can't talk. But I've read both of these a lot, and they're really, really fun comics. And there's huge collections of them. And if these aren't quite your speed, you want something a little sillier and more fun, and still want to get it, I would definitely recommend the Donald Duck Daily Newspaper Strip collections. These are fantastic and completely different versions of Donald Duck. It's by Al Taliver. It's kind of hard to pronounce it. It's like Al Taliferio, but I think it's pronounced Taliver. Let's see if we're going to open this right here on the stream. A bunch of great, amazing Donald Duck comics that are collected, and these are just so much fun. So if you want to get into Duck stories while the break is on, go back and look at that history, because there's just so much of it, and a lot of it's really fun. If you gotta stay DuckTales, there's some stuff out there for you too. There's been a DuckTales based on the new comic series, running from even before the premiere started. On top of that, there are a few things that aren't comics. A few weeks ago, I did a quick video on something called DuckTales Doodles, which is this really cool drawing and activity book that lets you complete unfinished drawings based on the DuckTales characters and then color them in. And I had a lot of fun playing with that too. It really let you sort of experiment with and play in the Disney universe. It was better than a coloring book. It was creative. It was really a lot of fun. On top of that, there's a few books for the new DuckTales series that are out now, but I personally haven't checked out yet, but they do seem really cool. The biggest among them seems to be DuckTales, I always trip up saying this, DuckTales Solving Mysteries and Rewriting Histories. It's in the theme song, but I just have a hard time saying it out loud for some reason in a video. And it seems really cool. It looks like it's a book sort of written from the perspective of Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby. And that's really awesome because, you know, I love these guys. And I haven't read it yet, but it seems fun and interactive. Like if you saw the Gravity Falls journal, I think it's a DuckTales version of that to some extent. And on note of that, I really hope they do make a Junior Woodchuck guidebook because those are important rules, right, Huey? So that's coming out, and if that's not all for it, there's the Doodles book, there's that. There's also a Launchpad joke book, and a few other ones floating out there. So if you just go and search around, go to your local bookstore, there's some really cool DuckTales stuff out there to check out. If you want those comics, before I direct you where you can get them online, I highly recommend you go to, I think, a website called indiebound.com and look up your own local independent bookstores and comic book stores. Because as much as comics are great and we can buy them anywhere and on Amazon, it's way better to get them from your local communities. You can meet more fans of comic books, you can help your local community out, and you know, you can help these people pull themselves up by their bootstraps, like Scrooge McDuck himself did. If you can't, for whatever reason, have a local bookstore that you can get to, they are available on Amazon, and there's a link down below in the description of this video with a bunch of Amazon links, and if you click on them, it's a passive way you can also help support the channel. It's part of the Amazon affiliate program, so if you buy anything, it will help me out a little bit. But I'd rather you support independent bookstores if you can, than help me out. As serious as I am about you going to IndieBound and looking for a local bookstore to buy it, if you absolutely can't or can't wait, I'd be remiss not to mention that at the time this video is being released, the comics for the DuckTales series are actually only like 99 cents for the first graphic novel on Kindle. So although I totally believe you should go get the real comics, because real physical comics are amazing, you can get them for a really good deal, at least right now. If you need an actual kind of media that's entertainment, beyond going back and watching the other 1987 DuckTales show, I'd recommend checking out podcasts. My friends online that I hang out with on Twitter, there's Duck Talks, and they talk about the modern DuckTales series and do a weekly well, I don't know if it's weekly, but they do podcasts about all those episodes, and they're really enthusiastic fans, so that's one way to connect. And if you are wanting to go back to the 1987 podcast, my favorite other podcast is Duck Blur. And It's a Duck Blur is done by this couple in Australia who are just awesome, and they go back and they rewatched all of the original all of the original DuckTales, and now they're rewatching all of Darkwing Duck, and they're a lot of fun as well. But fair warning on that, they do use some adult language. They're grown-ups. It's a show for grown-ups, so watch out. There's some swearing and stuff. But otherwise, those are two great podcasts you can listen to. So that's all this video really is. If you know where to look, there's a lot of really cool DuckTales stuff to experience while the show's on break. But it is on break, and so am I, kind of. I will be back with videos of roundups of my favorite episodes, more rebooted things into the in-depth little analysis of these characters and how they've all changed, as well as some videos about my favorite moments, and a few things that aren't DuckTales things. But in the meantime, I'm going to take a quick break from that, maybe just a week or two, to sort of to fix my computer, find my bearings, and maybe to go on a little vacation with Susie.
Literally living the dream.
Yeah, having a good time. Until then, though, I'm just going to take it easy, and I have a ton of old videos you can watch and check it out. They'll be floating around me here. But otherwise, follow Huey's advice while you're out there on the big bad internet.
Junior Woodchuck Rule 72. Always be fair to your fellow woodchucks.
Be fair to the other woodchucks. Be nice to everyone out there. Basically, what I'm saying is have a good time and take it easy, internet.